Let's talk a little bit about the data represented behind me. First, you might notice the translucent blue-colored bars. Each one of these bars represents one day of audit data. The objects stacked within the bars represent the number of audit findings for that given day. The different objects represent the different locations. So you might notice a forklift, which represents the warehouse. The microscope represents the laboratory, and the jack pump represents the oil rig. You may have also noticed some different colors. The green color represents closed audits that have already had remediation. The red color, however, represents an open audit status of high priority. Now, if you can picture us meeting in this place and having a discussion about the day's audits, having a productivity meeting, what should we do for corrective actions, what audits are still open, and let's say we have questions about that audit, what was found, what's the status. So what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and go over to that object itself, and I'm going to click it, which will open the environment to kind of spark some discussion and give us an idea about the environment that the audit was found in. So here I come over to the forklift. I'm going to give it a click. And as you can see, now we have the environment that the audit was found in to investigate as a team as part of our meeting. And also what's popped up is some details about what was found during the audit, if there's any additional status and comments, and if that audit is open and closed. So let me show you a little bit about what it's like inside that environment now, so come along with me. So here we are reporting live from the scene in the warehouse where the audit finding was produced. And a couple of things that I'd really like to emphasize about this technology is really like the immersion. It's very hard to convey through watching on a monitor, but I'm standing in the center of a 360-degree representation of the warehouse environment where the audit finding was identified. So it's an incredibly immersive experience where I'm inside a digital environment, and that's one of the the really magical things about VR XR technology is there's a presence. Like I really feel like I'm here, and when I'm with additional people, like we feel like we're together in a way that sort of transcends Zoom meetings and team chat type communication. So this type of technology could potentially bring like a new form of togetherness for a lot of remote work, like in this case, trying to do corrective actions on audit findings with a remote team. One of the ideas was scaling this down, especially for like a XR technology where you could put it like on a desktop, like on a tabletop, and kind of have a round table meeting format where the bar chart is like a little bit smaller out in front of everybody and kind of in the center. So it's just some food for thought. Once the data can be built dynamically like this, you can build it in so many different forms and create filters, for example, to like close out all of the green colored closed audits so it doesn't kind of clutter up the space and you can have more of a drill down focus. You can actually 3D model environments and bring those in instead of the 360-degree photo. So I've made a demonstration of that with the oil rig here. So I'm just going to click the jack pump. And as you can see behind me, there's now like a 3D modeled representation of the location rather than a 360-degree photo. So let's check this out a little bit. And this serves as an example of creating a 3D modeled environment versus doing the 360 picture. So facilities that have like CAD drawings of their equipment and facilities could use those CAD models to build 3D representations that we could then import into these environments. So what you can see here is I've built a demo data set, and then we have a script that runs on the Google Sheet, and that imports the data into GitHub on a GIST page, which is just basically like a CSV file. Once we have that CSV file updated, it then gets pulled from the GIST file into this environment, and the individual records are then used to build out that bar chart dynamically itself. And I think collaborating in an environment like this with a remote team, really brings like a closeness and an engagement that can supplement current processes with email and Teams and Zoom meetings. I just think it'll really drive like a new form of engagement with working with the data.